I know that's not a gray hair. Yeah, I'm getting old. Look at that gray hair. I'm in distress. I'm distraught, distressed. Somebody help me. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world or whatever time you're watching this. Hey friend, welcome to my channel, and if you're coming back, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shay, and today we're here to review the Sugar and Grunge Collection from Blend Bunny Cosmetics. I don't know if I would call it a collection as much because it only comes with like a palette and 3 lipsticks, but whatever I want to call it, I bought it. So first we're going to get into the 24 pan palette. Retailing for $41, we have a 24 shade palette, and it says 24 shades for the 90s sweethearts. It does come with 18 matte shades and 6 shimmer shades. Also a part of the collection are these 3 matte lip creams that come in the shades Runaway, Moody, and Sweetheart. Now, I don't know if they're tan girl friendly, but we're going to find out today if it is. The first thing I did want to try out was the lipsticks because I've never had a lipstick from Blend Bunny. So I'm just going to do a quick swatch on my hand to see how I like the formula. I'm going to start with the shade Sweetheart. Oh, it came out real buttery, like no issue. Now, it came out like this dusky pink color, which I don't know. It could probably work for my skin color, but we'll definitely see in a little bit. Now, I'm going to go ahead with the shade Moody. And there's no smell. It just smells like lipstick. Ooh, and it's like this mauve-y color. Ooh, I really hope this one works for me because I've been looking for like a almost like nude with the hint of purple. I don't know. What do y'all think? Each of these does retail for about $12. And the last shade is actually called Runaway. And I don't know. I have a lot of brown lipstick, so hopefully this works. If it doesn't, I don't know. I'll give it to my sister. Okay, so Runaway is like this purple, almost brown color. They're very light. I don't feel like I have anything on my hand. But for the purpose of this video, I'll probably mix Runaway with Moody. Hopefully it comes together good. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the palette. The palette, they do have names for these colors, and they're all cute little like 90s names. Something like Skater Girl, we've got Payphone, Detention. Lord, we're gonna get into Detention. Runaway, Combat Boots. Now I'm really interested in Combat Boots and Mixtape because I think I want to go for like this black gray grunge look today. So I'm most interested in that. And I'll probably use bubblegum to offset all that black and gray grunge. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and prime my lid off camera and then I'll be right back. So I prime my lids and I'm going to do my eyebrows and then we're going to get into the eyeshadow. But let's talk about the palette. It's supposed to be reminiscent of like the 90s. I was actually born in 1991. So I don't remember much of the 90s, but I actually was a part of it. I have primed the lids, and now I'm just going to do the eyebrows and quickly get into actually doing the eyeshadow portion. When I think of the 90s, I think of like the baggy pants era in hip-hop and all that. The little I do know about like the pop and punk scene is from like what I've seen in movies. Because for that, I picture like really dark eyeliner, really smudged, big hair, like tousled hair. And you know, it was an aesthetic, not my aesthetic, but you know, to each their own, you know what I mean?
Do you, boo-boo? Do you, boo-boo?
I wanted to go in with the shade Combat Boots and kind of carve out the shape that I want to go for. I don't do too much grunge makeup, but I'm going to try to make grunge glam if I can. Like, hopefully it comes out right. If it doesn't, oh well, it's still going to be posted. So I'm just taking a angled brush to carve out the shape that I want. Yeah, that's kind of what I want. At this point, it doesn't have to be perfect. That's perfectly fine. because we're going to blend it out anyway. Are they twins? No. Are they cousins? Probably. Moving forward. So, like, I don't remember too much about the 90s. What I do remember once is, like, when I was in middle school, like, I used to go to Stone Mountain Middle School in Stone Mountain, Georgia. And every morning, my mom would get up and take me and my sisters to school. So, I don't know what I was doing. Like, I had gotten in trouble once, and they gave me a detention. Knowing me, knowing my mom, I knew my mom would absolutely be super, super mad at me. So in my young mind, I was like, the only thing to do is to forge my mother's signature on my detention slip. So in order to avoid getting in trouble, I started practicing my mom's signature over and over until I figured that it looked pretty much the same. It was passable. And I forged my mom's signature. And I asked, like, we had the option to do like after school detention or early morning detention. So, like, my mom would bring us to school early anyway. So I was like, yeah, I'll do early morning detention. That's no problem. So, that way my mom never ever knew I had detention. So, as I'm practicing her signature, days and days go by, I'm practicing. One day, my mom sees me practicing her signature and she's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, I'm just practicing everybody's signature. Still trying to maintain this innocence, not getting in trouble, because I really didn't want to get in trouble with my mom. So, it came time for me to actually turn in the detention slip. Child, my teacher clocked me so bad. She was like, what is this? Your mom's signature looks a little funny. And here I go. I was like, well, my mom recently just got into a car accident, so, her handwriting's a little shaky. The teacher full-fledged bought it, and here I am thinking, like, I done pulled the okie doke over everybody. I'm like the best person, the sneakiest person walking around or whatever. And, like, to this day, I don't know if she ever called my mom. I know I never got in trouble for it. And then, like, but it also made me, like, never want to get into detention ever again, which I did, but that's my business. So that's, like, the only thing I kind of remember about growing up in the 90s. As far as the music, I know it was a big grunge era, like your Blink 182s, your Nirvanas, your, you know, I don't remember too many of the girls of the 90s. Like, was that like Alanis Morissette? I don't know. You tell me in the comments. I have no idea. That wasn't my era. I was into 90s R&B. I'm still into 90s R&B to this day. I'll go and listen to a 90s R&B song before I listen to like the new nonsense that's being put out. All right. How'd that look, y'all? I think it's smudged just the way I want it. The good thing about this is the 90s was very smudgy, very grungy. No, like, true, like, pristine aesthetics. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add the shade Mixtape above this to make sure our blend is seamless. Now, if you don't remember, the shade Mixtape is like this gray color, which I'm very excited about because I've never actually used a true gray eyeshadow on any one of my looks. And I've been doing makeup for like 700 days now. And it just occurred to me, like, I never really used a true gray. So I'm just going to go very lightly in. And we're going to build it instead of, like, just packing it on. Yeah. Once I place it, I'm just going to gently go back and forth, smudging out that color. And don't worry about the black. We're going to come back in with it. And then we're going to add, believe it or not, we're going to be adding some rhinestones today. I'm feeling ambitious. Why not? I'll be right back, and then we're going to come back with that black. I think I do want to add just a pop of color, so I'm going to go ahead and go with the shade Ironic. And no, maybe I should go with Sweetheart. I'm going to go with Sweetheart, which is like this apricot-y color. We're going to try Sweetheart, see if it works. If it doesn't, oh well, we've already placed it. And speaking of Sweethearts, I don't remember if I had like this 90s Sweetheart or like a 90s crush. Um, but I do remember back in the day I was in love with like B2K. Now I know they're not the 90s, they're more so the 2000s, but that's my business because I was always going to be a J Book girl. Yeah, I'm going to go back in with the lime green. It looks better to me. That ironic lime green. I was a J Book girl down. Like, y'all could have your little Omarion, your little Fizz. I wanted J Book. J Book was mine. Like, argue with someone else. I'm going to go ahead and bring the shade Combat Boots into the inner V. Just slightly, not too much. And then I'm going to smudge it out, and I'm actually going to place a shimmer there as well. I'm going to use the shade Bubblegum, actually, which is like this shimmery pink shade. And I'm just going to use my finger to apply it because I'm going for like a grunge look, so I don't want it to look like pristine. Now, I thought it was going to be more pink. It looks a little silver to me. Yeah, that looks silver to me. Like, that does not give pink. I don't hate it, but it's not what I was expecting. I'm going to go ahead and bring it to the other side, too. Yeah, I'm not getting any type of pink in this at all. I wonder if that was like on purpose. Just to remind you what it looks like in the palette, I'm going to put a picture like right here. Yeah, that's not pink at all. At all. No pink. Okay. It's okay. Yeah, it's okay. I took the shade Garage Band and I just placed that on the inner V. And I wonder how many people actually had a band in the 90s. I know my sister was in a band when I was in high school. And I would used to have to take her. It was with like one of the kids in the neighborhood who had like this rock band. So imagine like my little sister, all of 4'11", in this little rock band with her like big like rocker hair and this little tiny girl. And like this band actually made like a rock song to like Lil Wayne's Lollipop. And to this day, I can't listen to Lollipop without thinking of that band. And it was like, I don't know, that's just not something I wanted. But like my little sister got the full like rocker chick experience. She's like the person who put me on to like Paramore. She's the person who put me on to like Avril Lavigne, Evanescence, Flyleaf. Like to this day, I have a playlist with like all those songs in it that when the mood strikes, I'm going to listen to it. You know what I mean? I think it makes me eclectic. What about you? So I'm just going to put on a black liner because I know that was super popular. I'm going to try my best not to do a wing liner because I don't think that was really popular. And then when I come back, I'll give you my final thoughts on the actual collection. I almost forgot to put the rhinestones on. Like, oops. All right, so I'm just going to take some lash glue and I'm going to put an outline of where I want the rhinestones to go, which is here. All right, let's get stoning. I do find it helps if you let the glue get tacky and then go in with your stones. I've let it sit for a couple minutes and now I'm just gonna place these stones wherever I feel a stone is needed. Again, no rhyme or reason to it. We're just trying to get them on there. Now, typically it doesn't really actually take me a long time to put rhinestones on. Like I stoned this thing for Halloween, and it didn't take me but like a couple hours. And it was like, I guess you could call it like a big project. But as you can see, you do have to pick up one stone at a time, place them where you want it. And I'm gonna go ahead and speed this up so, you guys don't have to sit for the 10-20 minutes it takes me to do this. This is taking forever. Let's go again. And we're still stoning. We've been stoning for 20 minutes. Why? Oh, Shanae, why did you do this? You've got to evaluate your life's decisions. Carry on. So we have just a couple more to go, and then we can wrap this up and get some final thoughts. Let's see. How does that look, y'all? Yeah, that's fine. All right, so when I come back, my entire face is going to be done, and I'm going to give you my final thoughts. All right, so the whole face is done, and we're going to go ahead and get started with the lips. I'm going to be using 2 of the lipsticks that you're able to buy with this collection, but I'm first going to start off by lining my lips. And today, we're going to overline, because I feel like that's more 90s. Okay, now that the lips are lined, we're going to go ahead and start with the shade Runaway. first thoughts is I absolutely cannot tell that I have put something on my lips, which is a plus in my book. Now, I like the name Runaway because who of us hasn't like run away, packed up a little bag and just took off, right? I personally, I think I ran away in high school, and like I ran away for like the most ridiculous reason. I like got a D in English and I was like, I'm leaving. I'm not dealing with this stress. I don't have to deal with this stress. And now, when I did finally get back home, it was like a big thing. Like the police had to come and get me. My mom was pissed. The whole neighborhood was watching. Like out of 10, I would give it like a negative 3,000 because I do not think it's worth the aggravation. And now we're gonna go in with the shade Moody. Now with Moody, I don't know. I don't feel like it showed up for me. It looks like my lip color. Again, it's nothing. I don't know. I don't know about this one. I don't think it looks bad, but I don't know. I think without the lip liner, I don't think this would have worked. So I would say it was like barely 10 girl approved. I don't think it would work with anyone who's like a little bit deeper than my shade. But it's very lightless. Like it's very lightweight. Like can't even tell I have anything on my lips. And I don't know. Is there a little, maybe a little bit comes off. I don't know if it, I don't know, maybe it just doesn't go with this look, but we've put it on and this is what we got now, so. Moving on. I wasn't really feeling it, so I went ahead and grabbed the shade Sweetheart and put it in the center, and I like it so much more, y'all. Like, this is what I'm going for. 3 shades. They blend together perfectly. And I think this is a lip I can get down with. Yeah, we like that one. All right, so this is the final look. I just wanted to come back and let you see it completed all the way through. Yes, get into the shenanigans. Yes, I placed rhinestones. I used only the Sugar and Grunge palette from Blend Bunny Cosmetics. Also only used their new 3 liquid matte lipsticks. And now it's time for final thoughts. So now it's time for shades, final thoughts. I used the Sugar and Grunge palette from Blend Bunny Cosmetics. This palette does retail for $41. And my first thoughts on the palette was it blends incredibly well. And with it coming from Blend Bunny Cosmetics, I would expect that. I would say there's a nice range of colors. You can create multiple looks. It's very compatible with their other palettes, so I can see myself getting back into this one. When applying the actual pigments, there wasn't a lot of fallout, which is great. There was just a little bit, which is to be expected. I would say that I think the theme is very fun. It did take me back to the 90s, although my version of the 90s and their version of the 90s was a little bit different. It's okay. We did find a meeting ground. I would say my favorite shades in this palette probably, I don't know, the Garage Band, which is like this almost black grungy green color, is going to be my favorite one. I don't mind the shimmers, although I did get a little tricked. I thought that bubblegum was going to give a pink shimmer, but as you can see, it did not. It gave maybe white, I would say, over anything. I do want to go ahead and mention again Blend Bunny's new 3 liquid matte lipsticks coming in 3 shades: Moody, Runaway, and Sweetheart. I actually did use all 3 on my lip today. I would say it's almost 10 girl friendly. You do have to manipulate it a little bit for it to work with your skin tone if you have a deeper skin tone. However, when putting it on, I kid you not, I still can't tell I'm wearing anything on my lips. It's so weightless. There is no smell to it, which is a plus for me because I don't like the manufactured lipstick smell. I will be using them multiple times. I can already tell I like the aesthetic of it. It goes with the collection very well, and I think you guys should give it a try. A palette retails for $41. The lipsticks are $12 each, and if you get all three, that would be $36. And all the whole collection is under $100, which is great. If you do go ahead and buy with them, you can actually use code Allie. It's not my code, it's my friend's code, but you will save yourself some money on it. All in all, I would rate this palette on a scale of 10. I'm going to rate it at 8.5. I like the palette. Some of the shades are going to be not usable for me. It just doesn't complement me well, which is why I didn't give it a 10. But I think everyone should go out and buy it and try it for themselves. I want to thank you so much for watching my video and sticking it through to the end. Why don't you go ahead and give it a thumbs up, like the video, make sure you're subscribing, and go ahead and hit the bell. That way you'll be notified when I do post another video. Again, my name is Shay. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye, friends.
Julie, do the thing.